to Jeff Hurst, the Trevor Brooking and Billy Bonds, Paolo Di Canio, West Ham United. We celebrate our victories, we stick together in defeat. I'm proud of our history, West Ham United, more than just a podcast, more than just a podcast.
I'm sorry, I've got miles away there. Hello. Good evening. I forgot, I'm so used to him speaking first.
Yeah.
It's my turn. Sorry, people, about that. Hello, good evening, welcome. It's question time.
It is.
It's just me and Len. So hopefully you've listened to the previous episode where it was me, Len and John just talking about Brighton and Larnaca. No news. We didn't want to bore you with any of that crap. But yes, do you know what? I've loaded the wrong jingle. So it's
you was going to get a Shedman jingle.
well, I loaded that instead of Facebook Twitter question time. So yes, people, it's amateur hour. It's Facebook Twitter question time. Yes. So about an hour ago, or less, I think actually, it was about 45 minutes ago, I put questions are welcome tonight because basically I didn't have time to really write anything.
No.
But thankfully, people have turned up to ask questions, which is good of you.
Yeah.
First up, it's our good friend, Ziggy Stardust, Davy Jones.
Freak out in the Moon Age Daydream. Oh, yeah. I'm going to work all the way through the album.
Yeah. Evening all, says Davy. He said, poor show on Saturday, but not really surprising. Has Moyes got a future, and will the bald ever grow a pair and give him the old tin tack? Brady out.
Brady out.
Has Moyes got a future?
I think this is his last job.
Yeah?
Well, it was his last job before we come back again.
Yeah. Well, that's how good he was thought of, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Actually, that's how football thought of David Moyes. That's what...
Well, yeah. With all these plaudits saying about,
Yeah.
how good he is, I think every paying person in football who pays the wages thinks he's a dinosaur. And
Is that harsh, though? Do they go,
No.
oh, he's a dinosaur because he's knocking 60?
No, it's not that.
his
It's
tactics?
just his tactics. It's just his thought, his process. You wouldn't want him anywhere near your club. He took Sunderland down, for fuck's sake. Look at the state of them now. Well, not now, but...
Yeah, I'd still argue they were going to go no matter who the manager was. But
He made sure it was him, didn't he?
well, yeah. It's hard because I sound like a Moyes apologist, but which I'm not. But I thought he was harshly treated at Man United. His win record weren't that bad. Anybody that followed Ferguson with the team Ferguson left was going to struggle. But anyway, hey ho. The thing is, I don't think he was a big enough name for him.
No.
I
think Mourinho was the man to replace him.
Yeah.
But, it's not our concern.
So then he goes to Sociedad, and he didn't do that bad there. Or was it Santander? I can't remember what one it was. I think it was Sociedad, wasn't it?
Sociedad, yeah.
So he went to Sociedad. I thought he did okay there.
They didn't like him.
No, but he didn't go down. He didn't really do anything much. Did his time in Spain, came back to Sunderland, but Sunderland had already had, I think, 4 or 5 managers in 3 years.
But I don't know how to say it, but Big Sam kept him up, Nigel.
Well, yeah, but Di Canio kept him up. And
Yeah.
the Dutchman that they had, who'd managed Rangers, he kept him up. But that's all they did. They kept him up, and then the next season they were sacked because they were failing again. So, I don't know. It's harsh. I don't get, though, the media love for the man.
No, I don't.
I don't get how, Danny Murphy and Ian Wright can sit there and go, well, he shouldn't be sacked, and they all do.
I've got a theory. I mean, all these ex-players they all live on their past, Nigel.
Yeah.
So, and Moyes is doing the same thing. So they're not gonna. He's part of the tribe. They all live on their past. And that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. At the end of the day, and this is, I don't know if this is what Declan was going on about in his thing, but if they really knew what they were doing, they'd be managers or coaches.
Right, I see what you mean. I didn't interpret it that way.
So,
wait, did he say they'll still be playing?
Well, no, he didn't.
Do you think he was talking? I don't think he'd have the audacity to say it about Roy Keane.
Well, that's the funny thing is, I think it was a dig at Roy Keane.
You do?
And I do. And the strange thing about it is, if I can't see who it was, because what journalists are having a dig at him? So if it's not about the fans,
having the dig at Moyes, because that was what the question was coming across for me. Is do you think is the speculation about Moyes' future, is it bothering you? And he said, no, I find it all a lot of noise, I just get him to convince. And then he said, if these people knew anything about it, they'd be playing it. Because it's almost like he brought it to him, and I thought to myself, why would you just come out and say that?
Well, this is the strange thing where we said in the previous show, it's open to interpretation, is that if it's not about the fans, because obviously we're fans, we haven't played to that level, so... But it's not us, right? So if it's not us, who else hasn't been at that level?
Maybe it's
journalists.
Do you know who I think? Who I think he meant? I think he meant that YouTuber who does TalkSport now, the Man United guy.
Oh,
is it Mark something? Is it Groombridge or something?
Yeah.
I think it's
Goldbridge, is it?
I think that's the kid. I think after he comes out and saying this social media ban, I think that's a little bit of how do we call it, projection. I think he's got the social media problem, actually.
Well,
and I think
maybe because he did come out, didn't he, and go, I don't see what Declan Rice, in a sort of echo chamber of the Roy Keane stuff.
Yeah. So I think it's him that's upsetting, and I think he takes too much social media shit to heart, Declan. Yeah. I think that's a problem.
Well, for those that don't know, this is the Talk Man United bloke or whoever he is. He is on Talk Sport, which I'm very surprised at how you get an idiot like this. Because this is what he came out with today, just to give you context of what his mind is like. And actually, he's possibly made for Talk Sport, is that apparently a 3-0 defeat is worse than a 7-0 defeat. That is what he has come out with today.
I thought that was Darren Bent. No, I thought that was...
No, that was the YouTube, the Man U, Groombridge, everything. Right.
Okay.
This is what they because all the pundits were laughing at his mentality behind that, and his mentality was that 3-0's worse because we're doing, but once you get past that, it's the players have given them up anyway, so it don't matter, and you just think, well, I think that sums it up, and the fact that he's done it on TalkSport. Right. Sort of for me sums up the shower of shit and why I don't listen to it anymore, because they've done away with the sensible people.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I say I don't listen to it. To be fair, I don't mind Darren Bent and the other bloke in the evening who does drive now, Man United fan, isn't he?
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
No, with the long hair. But anyway, so I don't mind him. Them two. I can't take Simon Jordan anymore. Or the Scottish geezer, and I won't. The breakfast show don't interest me at all.
No.
But anyway, that's and that's the mad thing about Declan's comments. We could all sit there and we could all go, "Oh, he meant this, he meant that." I mean, if he meant Roy Keane, well, Roy Keane has been on the pitch and played, hasn't he? But Roy Keane is getting under his skin. But I think that's because of the. Because he obviously rejected Ireland.
I think
for me, I think there's a bit of that with Roy Keane. But anyway, let's move on. No sniggering now when I read out this next name. Yeah? And you at the back as well, people. No sniggering here. Next up, it's Stephen Pumfleet. Anyway, no sniggering, I said. Evening, gents, he says. Sorry, Steve. Winning 4-0, then losing 4-0 in consecutive league games. Has anyone recalled that happening before? Sums up being a West Ham fan. We will beat the drop and win Europa. Well, let's hoping we do, Steve.
Yeah, I hope you're right, Stephen.
Yeah.
I can't remember 4-0. It probably has happened to us. Sounds like a redknapp thing.
Yeah.
I can't recall. I'll struggle to remember what I had for dinner.
Yeah. It's someone did ask me when was the last time we lost 4-0. And I didn't think it was under Moyes. I think it's the worst defeat we've had under Moyes. And there was a few 5-0s against Man City under Pellegrini. That's I don't know how far back, but pre-pandemic, basically. It's been a long time since we've had an ironing like that. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Next up, Sean's mate Gary Prince is here. Evening, gents. He's trying to forget the Brighton match. So looking back over the last year of away matches, what's been your favourite? He says, Pierce, we've won 2. Moyes out. He must be talking about league games because obviously in cup games, Gal, we've won far more than 2 away from home. Because we've won 4 away from home this season in Europe. I mean, can you have a favourite away in the last year?
Is he talking about the league then?
It must be, because he's going, we've won 2 from Moyes. So in the last calendar of the year, so if you look at the...
Well, I can think of Villa. So what was the other one? Well, they're both Villa.
Would have been last season, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Was that Villa as well?
Was Watford at home?
Oh, that was away. Carrow Road. No, that was the season before.
Yeah, it was. You were right. It was
Carrow
Norwich.
Road?
No, it was Norwich.
Yeah.
Norwich away in May. We won 4-0.
Yeah.
So, I mean, looking at that, we won 4-0. We were 2-0 up to Man City, drew 2-2. And we were 1-0 up to Brighton at the end of the season. So last season, when people talk about last season, I don't buy into we were shit last season, from January onwards. I don't think we were.
It was
mixed
firing.
Bag. No, we weren't firing like we were at the start of the season, no. But we were playing Europe and we probably were concentrating on Europe. And I don't know, FA Cup as much. I don't think I've got a favourite away game. If you've listened to the first episode, you've heard it's been a good few years since I've seen us win away from home. So, I mean, if I'm picking one that I've watched on telly, I don't think you can get past Leon, realistically, can you? So, Chrissy Mills, Super Chrissy Mills, to give him his official title on the podcast. Evening, gentlemen. He says, it's hard to find the words. He's dumbfounded. So he's found one. That they won't even try something different. He said, but this is Sullivan. He'll make money out of relegation no matter what. But with the ever-increasing threat of relegation under Moyes, could the London Stadium actually be better for the fans with a sub-40,000 attendances?
Ooh.
He says, close the upper tiers and push the lower tiers closer to the pitch. No part-time fans, no point in security checks. They can't afford them. He said he's trying to think of positives. Hopefully you can give me some more. Well, what I will point out to you, if you close the upper tier and just add the lower tier, we'd only have 19,000 there.
Yeah, I was about to say it's about 20,000.
Yeah, it's 19,000, and that's without away fans and segregation. So you're probably now down to 17,000 West Ham fans in the lower tier. That's one of my bugbears about they keep modifying the lower tier, making it like they're making the stadium fit for football, forgetting that actually 3/4 of us sit upstairs. But hey ho. Yeah, it's a tough one, Chris. I get where you're coming from. It'll be good to sort out, as there's a phrase, sort out the wheat from the chaff, I think.
Chaff,
thank you. And it'll be good to see what happens there. The wheat.
From the chaff.
That's what I said, wasn't it? The wheat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wheat from the chaff.
Yeah.
Well, I said chaff, but anyway.
Yeah.
And with the fan base, because we've not had a good relegation for 11 years, so we're about due one, to be frankly honest. And there's a section of fan base. So if you think of all these 20-odd-year-olds, these teenagers, 20-odd-year-olds, all going to London Stadium together, they probably don't remember 2010-11. So therefore, how will they take it? So, I actually think we'd probably still retain a healthy support, madly. Though I think it will be around the 40,000 mark. Any other positives?
What, from going down?
From going down?
No.
No? Saturday 3:00 kickoffs, more prevalent?
That is, yeah.
You still have your season ticket?
I think I need one, but I?
No? Well, probably not, no. Oh, Father Chris Kinch.
Hello, Father Chris.
There you go. When you've got the clergy against you, yeah, you're banging trouble. David Moyes.
David Moyes out.
He says, do you think even Moyes finds it hard to believe he hasn't been sacked yet?
I generally do. I think he's thinking himself, oh, God. Every time he has to come up with a reason for a loss, he's running out of ideas, isn't he?
Yeah.
I bet deep down he's thinking, please sack me.
Do you think?
Please sack me.
Do you, one thing we haven't discussed is there do you think there's an arrogance in his statements when he comes out?
I think he's getting close to be worse than Allardyce. They're neck and neck at the minute. There's the definite arrogance. I mean, the thing is, Allardyce done it from day one.
Yeah.
Which was a bad move.
Yeah.
But right now, they're neck and neck. He's a very arrogant man, Moyes, and actually, I don't like him.
Yeah.
I'll be glad to see the back of him, regardless of who we get in.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just, it's what he said. He's lost me, not by the way he plays football, but what he says when he comes out. That's where he's lost me. I can actually not accept, but I can put up with losing 4-0 away from home. All these people going, this is the worst ever. Yeah, I tell you, it's not a game of top trumps, but I can throw loads of games worse than that. Honestly.
I think you're right, but I do think in some ways this is the worst ever. This is the stark realisation, the demonstration of this the shit.
Yeah, because
we have had it bad when we've had teams that we know are weak.
Yeah,
but this really isn't a weak team after the spend we've had, and this is, good God, this isn't working. Please do something about it. In that realm, it's the worst ever.
Yeah,
because we got a good squad, I think.
All right, I'll throw something at you then.
Go on.
2003.
Yeah.
What team's better? Now, So what is worse? And because I get what you're saying, we'd had a couple of bad seasons prior to 2011. So we were on the downward slide. Yeah.
Yep.
2003, it sort of came out of blue. We'd had one bad season in 5 out of 5, and then came the car crash, which I still blame on the transfer window being brought in. But anyway, so what is the biggest relegation? Is it the 2003, or is it if we go down with this one?
I think if we go down with this one. Because of the spend and the players that were handpicked by Moyes to do a specific job at an apex of our form, and then to go down. In 2003 was mismanagement. It was the transfer window come round and he decided not to buy a centre-half that we desperately needed.
Yeah.
That's what sent us down. Plus, we did get the points to say.
I think there was a lack of understanding of the transfer window because it was the first time.
Yeah.
It caught them off guard, and we had our injury problems in October, November, and had to wait till January to bring people in.
Yeah.
And it was like a lack of preparation.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
For that situation. Where before, for those, obviously you think anyone realistically under 30 ain't going to realise, you could just go out and buy anyone you wanted up until the end of March. So if you needed a player in October, you went and bought them.
Which would have suited Sullivan, because you procrastinated.
Yeah.
Right to the end, and then he would have splurged.
Yeah.
To whatever was needed. To some bloke who weren't getting in the Man United team or something.
Yeah.
Them days are gone, unfortunately, kids. Not that there's any children listening.
Yeah. Personally, I think 2003 is the worst ever.
Yeah.
I do. Because
Had so much going for us, didn't we?
It was on a multiple reasons. If I quickly explain, is that for me, I actually think while the sacking of Redknapp sort of in 2001, 2 years was the start of a sort of decline. The 2003 relegation put paid to the final redevelopment at Upton Park, left it disjointed, and then with the promotion came the sale of the club to the Icelandics when the club had never ever been sold before, and that then led us down the road of the Icelandics and the capitulation and the bankruptcy and everything else. We lost someone that could have been a good manager in Kirbishley.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And we lost him because of the financial hamstrongness of the Icelandic operation crashing at the end, and led us down a path where we were bought by Golden Sullivan, who picked us up for next to nothing in a way, and which led us on the path to Stratford. So, yeah, I remember as a kid on my history exam, writing an article. You had to write so many words on what was the start of the Second World War, and I traced it back to the killing of Archduke Ferdinand in Sarajevo.
I thought that was the first.
Exactly right. But the reason for the Second World War was because of the outcome of the First World War weren't palatable. So actually, if you hadn't have had the First World War, you probably wouldn't have had the Second World War.
Yeah. Because
Germany wouldn't have collapsed under whatever, and the rise of Hitler was because of the reparations placed on Germany. Which if my spelling and grammar had been good, I might have got like a top mark for it. So
yeah. They just thought you were an idiot and you got your wars mixed up. Like
No. The history teacher was the best. He's the only teacher I still remember his name, Mr. Sexton, and he took me for history and government and politics, and he was the only one that really got me to turn up and listen to. So he must have been good. It's the old boy, Chester Armour.
Oh, Grant!
He's getting a bit of an away day. He was on the Ironworks tours now, buses. The old Charlie buses up to Man United. I noticed.
Right.
Going on his own now to away games.
Probably the bursar's got involved. Probably.
Hey, he's loving it. He's got the bug. Oh, Grant. Evening, chaps, he says. Hopefully Lenny's fit where he is. Raring to go this week. Not sure
Just
about that.
Yeah.
He was missed last week.
Thank you, Grant.
So the briefing to the press has begun. Steinberg letting us know that players are unhappy with Moyes' tactics.
I didn't know that bit.
No, we didn't. Same old pony from senior sources about lack of replacements.
Oh, I do know about that bit.
Must-win game on Sunday. Moyes' last chance. Oh, must-win game 3. Well, yeah, that's true because Leeds was the first must-win or must not lose. Everton was must-win, and now it's Villa. It's all a bit boring
and
now.
Forest was really... No, it weren't, was it?
No.
Not officially.
No, but you say that. I think if he'd have lost to Forest and then lost to Brighton, I think they might have pulled the trigger. I think there was a good chance of that. Anyway, he's got a question. He said, if you were opening a pub, what would you name it? And then he's gone Brady Sullivan Moyes out.
Brady Sullivan Moyes out. Well, my fictitious pub in my animation was called the Thrifty Chairman.
The Thrifty Chairman.
So I'm going with that one.
Oh.
What about you?
What would I call it?
What would you call your pub? Would it be West Ham related?
Well, what about the Duke of Canning Town?
How about that?
Eh?
Yeah.
The Duke of Canning Town. If you ever went to the House of Lords, you were allowed to pick, aren't you? You know when you think, I'd have a bit of that, Lord Canning Town. It's got a nice ring to it because Canning Town was named
after someone called Canning.
Yeah, I think it was.
Canning, was it? Or
George Canning.
George Canning.
Or who was like Viceroy of India, or possibly his dad, who I think was Lord Canning. And there's a statue of him in Parliament Square, people, just to really bore you, outside the the Palace of Justices, opposite the Houses of Parliament. It was something to do. Definitely the Viceroy of India. I believe it was named, and it wasn't named after the Canning factory.
No,
that appeared. Though Silvertown was named after the Silver Rubber Works. So you can get why people get confused.
Yeah.
Next up, it's our favourite Venezuelan. It's Barry Caracas.
Oh, he's from Venezuela, is he?
No, I just like his last name. Or Carcass, whatever we want to call him. Evening, everybody. He's going to pick the bones out of this, though.
Right.
Quite straightforward question from me. Right, what with Antonio on his podcast, Moyes and Rice after the game, and their me responses, when is everyone going to shut up and just stop making the old mess worse? MSB out.
Yeah.
Hey?
Moyes, Sullivan and Brady.
Yeah, outs. Right.
MSB out.
So, what's your take on Antonio?
No, I'm making right on all 3 counts.
Yeah?
But I have said on more than one occasion, they're all self-centered wankers.
Yeah.
So, and it's spilling out now. All it takes is the brats to lose.
Yeah.
And that's what you're getting. They all like it.
I mean, I won't listen to that podcast. I think it annoy me.
No, I won't listen to that prick.
I do listen to BBC Sounds podcast, and it is funny. They do advertise it, and I swear it's Antonio going, well, I'll bring the goals. Makes like a quip, and you think, yeah, mate. I don't get how you can have two serving pros doing a podcast because
saw him doing an advert the other day for BT Sport.
All right.
And I think to myself, whose idea is it to have such a middling fucking footballer on an advert? Seriously fucking middling. I'm trying to think if like you'd have, if anyone in our day would choose. Well, let's see the equivalent of the 1981 team. Not even Paul Goddard. Paul Goddard was far better than him. We're talking about, let's say like Sandy Clark. I'm asking him to do an advert. You know what I'm saying?
I think he was a bit better. I don't know if being harsh on Sandy Clark, you know. But
let's say, all right, no, let's give him a player form. Steve Whitten, he could put the ball in the net.
Yeah.
You wouldn't ask him to do an advert, would you?
No, and Steve Whitten was probably a goal-scoring midfielder. If truth be told, I never saw him as a striker.
All right, what about the one from Palace who played
Swindlers?
Yeah, Dave Swindlers.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have him do an advert. We got there in the end.
No.
Should we stick on Swindlers?
Yeah.
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 No, you wouldn't see Swindlers do an advert.
I mean, the weird thing, it'll be interesting to see how Antonio's thought of in 5 years' time when he's definitely retired and everything, because he's going to retire as our Premier League all-time goal scorer.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
I think partly that is due to his longevity. So, what season's this? 8, is it?
Yeah.
So season,
but mainly down to the fact that Sullivan can't buy a fucking striker, right? Can he really? That's really the reason.
But here's a bloke, and it does that sum up. Is that one? You know, there's so many things that sum up the Sullivan and Gold era.
Yeah, of course it
in
does.
one signing.
Yeah,
and you could go.
Can't buy the right strikers. Yeah. Get managers who play desperate football and just want to fucking defend. There it is. I mean,
our top goal scorer of all time in the Premier League was bought to play right wing.
Yeah.
And when he first played, he was a right back.
He didn't even, for the first couple of months, didn't even get in the fucking squad.
No. And the chairman tweeted a picture asking where he was.
Yeah.
Thinking he was really
Only
lost.
at West Ham. In the Sullivan era.
Yeah, but and that's the thing, because you think, is that harsh on him though? Is that harsh? Will it be harsh on Antonio if he's not rightfully recognised? But then I think he's scoring 50-odd goals. When you look at Ireland's going to have 30-odd Premier League goals in one season, and I know it's a different kettle of fish and mustard, but when you look at Salah's just broke the Liverpool Premier League goal scoring record, 152, or whatever it was. Here we are at the best striker that we've had in the Premier League.
He's not though, is he?
No, but all right.
Statistically,
I don't even know, because Di Canio played 50% less seasons than Antonio.
Yeah.
So for me, Di Canio is still the king of our Premier League strikers.
Yeah. Please, let's move off of Antonio.
Yeah. I blame Grant. Or Barry.
Yeah. Or was it Grant? It was Barry.
No, Barry's fault. Barry brought us all down.
Well, he was calling him a brat.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah. I'll take that back, Bazza. Next up is someone with my favourite last name. It's Adam Snzniak. Sorry, Adam, got a bit of a cold there. Evening, gents, says Adam.
Evening, Adam.
Or Genskis. He said he's not going to comment on the game, as I'm sure it's been done to death all week.
There's not much you can fucking commentate on, let's be honest.
No. He did get this. This is great, because he's come up with a name we've not thought of. Can anyone confirm why Villas Boas has not been mentioned for the job?
Now, months ago, someone mentioned it.
Was it?
I don't know who it was.
Perhaps it was Adam. He said his win record's great. And he knows the league, having managed Chelsea and Spurs, and he's still young. Brady out. What is Villas Boas?
I think he's turned it down. I think that's maybe I've heard it might have been Sean.
Mate, I think even the chambermaid in the hotel would turn us down now.
Yeah.
Villas Boas. I'll tell you, I'm going to have a look. Let's have a look. Because
I'm sure he's turned us down.
He was one of them who did well at Chelsea to begin with, and then it all went sour. And then he went to Tottenham. So he was Olympic Marseille manager up until 2021.
Short Sills said he doesn't want to return to the Premier League.
All right. So, right, let's look on. Unfortunately, I don't like using Wikipedia, but I'm going to have to with him. So, yeah, he's not really. I mean, he managed Porto for a year, Chelsea for a year, Tottenham for a year, Zenit St. Petersburg for a couple of seasons, Shanghai for a year, 2 years missing, and then Marseille for 2 years. Not really that great. I don't get. What did he do?
He done good PowerPoint presentations.
He must have done. Oh, so he won the league with Porto. Oh, he won the Europa League as well. And that's when he got the Chelsea job. So he did a Mourinho, basically.
Yeah. Maybe it was the similarities with the sort of.
Yeah. So what did he do at Marseille?
He went on and proved himself. There was nothing similar about him at all.
So he finished second with Marseille in his first year. But that was finished early due to the coronavirus pandemic. And he was the first manager in 9 years to beat Paris Saint-Germain. And he resigned, and he's not had a job since. He resigned with dissatisfaction with the club's recruitment policy. There you go. That's it.
Yep, that is it.
All right. So maybe that's why he's not mentioned. Though, frankly, some people may say, well, he can't do a worse job. Ed Hughes.
Loves a bit of squirrel.
He does love a bit of squirrel. Back to doom and gloom. Normal service.
Yeah.
You'll like this. Bravery's gone. Cowardice returns.
He's right.
Does Man U drubbing at Anfield make our midweek result look like a bad one?
Yeah, I think you're right. It does.
Does it?
I think it was a game. Well, I think it was a game that we should have won.
Yeah.
Going back to the Sport Brett.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Best striker
we didn't talk about the Man
striker.
United game, did we?
No, we didn't, did we? That's where Sean comes in handy.
He does, because he runs it. I'll just turn up and go, what was the last game? Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Why would we want to talk about 2 defeats?
Yeah. One was bad enough.
Yeah. Though I did think we was unlucky against Man United.
I thought we were. I thought
anyway.
we should have beaten the league.
Here are Sean, Nick Narvey. Right then, lads. Really out, Sullivan out, Moyes out. There's a bit of a thread appearing now. They're all piling in.
Yeah.
Well. He said, who'd have thought we'd have lost to Brighton? A well-run club that gets its managerial appointments and player recruitment spot on, leading to steady, sustainable growth on and off the pitch.
Yeah.
Can I just say this about Brighton, though? Everybody points at them, why aren't we like them? There's a reason for that. We ain't got their ownership. But then again, no one else has got their ownership. Brighton are a pretty unique club in the way they're run. They are pretty unique.
So are we.
Yes, for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, look at Leicester. Leicester have won the Premier League. Leicester's won every trophy in the Premier League era. They've won the League Cup, they've won the FA Cup, and they've won the league title. But they're not run as well as Brighton are.
No.
It's easy to point fingers at a successfully run lower club, but the fact is that no other football club is run that way. So they are pretty unique. So we shouldn't keep pointing fingers at them. He then goes on to say, Saturday's up there with the Reading away 6-0 loss under Kerbishley. The pull the socks up game, which he witnessed in 2007 as one of the club's most pitiful, deplorable, spineless, gutless, shameful, contemptible, cowardly performances in the club's history.
I think Sunday was worse. Saturday was worse.
Yeah, well, do you know what? And I'll tell you that game. That was the Jack Collison game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where he two-footed the geezer who tried to take the piss.
You got to put that into account.
And we can only applaud Jack Collison for doing that because we all would have done. Well, I'd like to think that anyone, and that's how you want a player to react. Yeah, you're getting tanked, but you want to take the piss, you can have a bit of it back.
Yeah.
Never done that at all.
No. There was Saturday could have been 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And from what I remember from Reading away, everything was going in.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Rob Green had a mare, to be fair.
Yeah, he did. I think it was the difference with the Saturday was it was £200 million of new players and what we already had saying we don't know what to do. We don't know how to deal with it. And I've never seen that before.
No. And it did lead to one of the strangest sights I remember at Upton Park from away fans. In the return fixture, they threw football socks onto the pitch.
Did they?
They did, the Reading fans.
Is it because he done the sock thing?
Yeah. Because of that. Was it Jimmy do you know when you think I've been struggling? Jimmy Kebe, I believe.
That's it. Yeah, Jimmy. That's right. Well done.
It's just come to me. Jimmy Kebe, bastard. Never liked him.
What happened to him?
Fuck knows, mate. Shit career. That's what happened. And I hope he did have a shit career. It's like Nick continues. He says he finds it hard to believe Moyes hasn't lost the dressing room, and our Russian hat-wearing supposed leader, his comments were as bad as the performance on the pitch.
Yeah, they all joined in. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Villa's a huge game. He said it don't make any difference if you're not going to sack him. You've left it too late.
Yeah.
And as for the cost, obviously mimicking what we read out in the first show about what the owner has said, there's nothing compared to the true cost of relegations. He said the players were empty.
Yeah.
Everything starts with Sullivan on the board, and it's evident throughout the club.
Yeah, everyone agrees, yeah.
We do agree. Even Nick from Claret and Booze agrees. He is done, he says. Text 75 since I started. God knows what they're chatting about. Does anyone agree with BFF's idea that the players need an holiday?
I understand what he said when he said it.
He loved the Dubai weekend away, though,
didn't he? Fucking did. That's exactly what went through my mind.
Get knocked out the FA Cup, we go Dubai.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frankly, I don't agree with anything BFS says just because he's BFS. No, so I'm not really a man to answer that question, Nick. Neil, he does finish hashtag I'm still angry. Oh. So don't be angry, mate.
There's no point being angry now.
No, there's not. Bloody hell, says Neil Eddie the Eagle Edwards. As bad as it gets, well, it is. And what with the poor league displays for the last 12 months, any other club would have sacked Moyes by now.
Yeah, they would have.
There's loyalty, and this is dereliction of duty.
That's what I said. That was my term of phrase. Back in when we come back from the World Cup, because he had a job to do and he didn't do it.
No.
Do you know what? You could have really sacked him on 2 or 3 counts by now, and now he's lost the dressing room. That's the third one.
I don't. To be honest, I don't think you could have sacked him before the World Cup.
I don't think you should have, but it was strange circumstances because of the break. You had to. I thought you had to give him that period.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have put it past Sullivan that he didn't say nothing. He wasn't briefed like he should have been. And just did kind of a free roll to do what he wanted to do. But I can understand people back in November saying he's got to go because you saw that he wasn't going to change back in November.
Yeah.
He would just carry on.
Yeah.
And ordinarily I would have said, yeah, fire him.
Yeah.
Yeah, fire him.
Yeah.
Because of the World Cup, no, keep him. This is not really working out well for us, is it? That World Cup wasn't good for us.
No. The funny thing is Nick would love it. Nick Claret and Booze, I remember him going on before the World Cup going, well, we've lost to Leicester, we've lost to Palace, we've lost to Leicester. We got Arsenal, Brentford, and then someone else. I can't remember who.
That's not the way we do it, is it?
And it loses them, and then what? And then it turns up we lost those 3 games.
Yeah.
And you think, oh my God.
The Brentford one was that. That was it. That's that.
Yeah.
That is it. That's when it should have gone for me. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Neil he says he's got a question. He says, do you think Sullivan will stick with Moyes till the end?
Yeah.
There's a stat, I'll repeat it, people, but there is a stat that every time we've been relegated, we've never sacked the manager till the end of the season.
Yeah, it does feel like the Abraham bit, and that's what makes you think that we might get relegated.
Yeah.
I still think.
Well, I think it's a more road bit, to be fair, because.
Yeah, I forgot that one.
But actually, Roder achieved something.
Yeah,
Abraham walked in and done fuck all.
Yeah, but Sullivan should know better. He should have learned from that.
30 years in football, what have that? And this is the thing, and perhaps this is where it is stale as well. When you look at, when people say, why is the Iron managers like Moyes? If we go through his whole, 30 years, 1993, they walked into Birmingham City. Terry Cooper. Right. So off the top of my head, Terry Cooper was manager. They sacked him at the end of the season, appointed Barry Fry. Barry Fry said he'll get him out of the league. He did that. He got him relegated to League One. But then they did go to Wembley and win the Freight Rover Trophy or whatever it was called then. Auto windscreens, I think we'd moved on to. They won that at Wembley.
That don't count.
Got promoted. Bazza then couldn't get him further. Hung about. I then think they appointed Trevor Francis. I think it was Trevor Francis they appointed. Trevor did okay, got them to a League Cup final that they lost on penalties. Off the top of my head, I think it was Liverpool. Then he never got them promoted. I think they got the playoffs never. They bring in Steve Bruce, and that was where Trevor Francis ended up at Crystal Palace.
Right.
And that's when the Simon Jordan, Sullivan and Gold feud started.
Right.
And all to do with, I think, Clinton McKenzie as well. So that's Trevor Francis done with. Then they moved on to Steve Bruce. Steve Bruce was allowed to leave because they were supposedly selling the club to Carson Young. He hadn't guaranteed Bruce's job, and Wigan come in, and they allowed Bruce to leave. They then appointed the Alex McLeish, who was still the manager when they left.
Yeah.
So then they turn up at West Ham, sack Zola, go Avram Grant. Well, we know, don't we, all the West Ham managers. And that's 30 years.
Yeah. A litany of shit.
Isn't it? No, And actually, if you look, and the weird thing about it is that every manager that is dismissed, every manager that is appointed plays a different brand of football to the manager that preceded them.
Yeah,
every one of them.
Shows I haven't got a clue.
30 years of football. And, she gets to go in the House of Lords. She sits on the boards of all these businesses that actually, when you look at the boards of companies, things, none of them exist anymore. They've all gone bankrupt.
No.
Nothing to do with her, though, people.
But they're all a success. You've got to understand that, everyone. They're a complete success.
Yeah.
It's a very strange definition of success. It's what us in this thing call fucking failure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people call it that.
Yeah.
Ding-a-ling. Oh, Stewie's back. He says, evening, gents.
Radio out.
He's got a question for Sully's mouthpiece. Do you want to save it for next week, Stu? Because he ain't here.
No.
Which basically says Krasinski buying Gold's family shares. We don't know.
Don't know.
He hopes so. He says, am I the only one that would give the captaincy to someone else?
No, you're not the only one, but who?
So, I don't see how anyone making the comments he did during the World Cup can command respect from his teammates on and off the field when we all know that he's fucking off in the summer.
Yeah, it's not the first time he's made a silly comment. We don't have to put up with too many more of them, let's be honest, Dinger.
He's saying this isn't knee-jerk from Saturday or his post-match interview. He said, I'm not blaming him, but he shouldn't be captain, and I've said it since the World Cup. Dodsy's, all right, my handsomes, how you doing? It's old Wurzel Gummidge himself.
Mr. Celebrity himself.
Mr. Celebrity himself. Who, I did creep up to him because he didn't know I was there. And just went, could I have your autograph, please? Just for a joke.
Is he going to Lineker? Is he Gary Lineker for Richard?
He is going all Lineker.
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah, Gary Lineker.
Gary Lineker.
Gary Lineker, as he calls it. He's a great old player he was for Leicester City.
It's gone down to 0 points now because no one can afford to fly.
Look, this is the thing. No one could. Well, you say that, and this thing. I did see a company. I think it was PI Travel. Were doing 400 odd quid round trip. You don't need a hotel room because they'll fly you out in the morning of the game,
right?
And midnight plane back,
right?
Now, here's a thing that I maintain. West Ham United put coaches on.
Well, they put planes on.
Exactly right. Why did they not organise planes that fly in and fly out on the same day? They could schedule planes. They know how many tickets we're getting. They could have it all arranged. They could have scheduled 2 planes to do that, and they would have filled them, and you'd do it for a fair price, maybe 400 quid. If you look at to fly into Cyprus, even in the summer, this time of year, you can probably get cheap. The 40, 50 quids if you're lucky. Right. But generally, it's always a couple of £100 to get to Cyprus, maybe more. It's a good old shot. It's a 4.5 hour flight. He said, however, says Dodsey.
Right.
Wurzel says, that was a shower of shit, however, but let's give Brighton some credit because no one seems to be.
They are getting a lot of credit. Yeah. Not from we're so disgusted with us. They're very good, Brighton. But we knew that before we kicked off.
That's it.
Well done, Brighton.
I don't know. They're a good team. If Declan Rice is worth 100 million, their midfielder, it must be talking about Caicedo, it must be worth 120.
Well, this is it. Where do we stop?
Yeah. Questions to light the mood.
Go on then.
He said, what's your favourite alcoholic drink, and what is the one drink that you can never drink, and what is the reason for it?
I'm a bit of a gastro drinker. I like to drink with what I'm eating. I don't like to drink at night. I'm a day drinker. So I like to have a lunch and whatever goes to the lunch. So I like wine with beef, red wine with beef. I like cider with pork.
All right.
With an Indian, I like the lager.
Yeah. Does it have to be a Cobra or a Kingfisher?
Not necessarily.
Oh.
Any lager, really. After golf, I like a lager with a drop of lime in it, or a bit of lime in it. You get it. I'm trying to think, do I have a...
Do you have a drink that you would never drink?
Do I have a drink I would never drink? I don't think I do.
No? All right.
Trying to think.
While you're thinking, I'll go, well, look, I don't know if it'll surprise you. I'm as plain can be. Right. I like a lager. My lager of choice is gas, as my brother calls it, but I call it Carlsberg.
Right.
That's what I like. But I like all other different lagers, but I like a lager. In the summer, I like a drop of Magners or a Thatcher's Gold. And that's it, realistically. Drink I would never drink, and why, is Guinness.
I like chocolate Guinness.
I had a sip of it when I was 17. Worked with a bloke. That was back in the day when you used to go in the pub at 1 o'clock for lunch. Yeah. Still working. Bloke took me in the pub. bought 2 pints again, just put it down, drink that. Had one sip, I ain't touching that, mate. I ain't not drinking that whatsoever.
I can think of a drink I don't drink. There's probably only one.
Go on.
Champagne.
Champagne?
Or, yeah, it gives me heartburn.
I've never... I maybe once, I think. I normally have to put orange juice in it. I can't...
That'll flatten it out a bit. That will take rid of the heartburn.
I don't really like... I don't drink wine at all, so I don't drink any wine. So no wine whatsoever. I do feel a bit I'm missing out, and I'm definitely not cultured. You know, sometimes...
What's your second best lager? If Carlsberg is your best, you got to... you go to a pub and there's no Carlsberg. You go the closest to it. Because I like full-bodied beers. I like full-bodied lagers. It's a shame I don't like... There's one of them...
Do you know what I used to love?
Go on.
It goes back to my youth. In the pub, I used to drink in a pub on Bethnal Green Road called the Blade Bone. And when I say drink in there, every day after work. And on a Sunday, we used to drive up to the Brick Lane Market and I'd go in there on a Sunday lunch and have a couple of drinks as well. So 5-6 days a week in there. But he used to serve tenants.
Yeah.
Right? And I did love a tenant's Pilsner. Yeah.
Right.
One night the Pilsner was off and we went on to Extra.
Ooh.
And I'm not, this ain't a thing, but that was a weird drive home. When you've had 4 pints, when you used to drink in Pilsner and you drink in Extra, because the Pilsner was goff. Yeah, that was a tough old, anyway. But I'm in no way endorsing that you should ever do that, people. But you do stupid things when you're young. And he finishes off. He says, Mr. Men of different characters. He wants to know what character each member on tonight's show is and why. Brady out.
Brady out. I'm Mr. Fucking Clumsy, I think, if that one still exists.
Yeah.
Fuck me, am I clumsy?
Well, Super
I have
Chrissy
spells
Mills
of being clumsy.
says, surely Len's Mr. Happy.
Yeah, Mr. Angry.
Yeah. He also says perhaps Sean is Mr. Greedy.
Definitely.
He's obviously seen a recent photograph of him.
Definitely.
So I don't know what Mr. Men I'd be. I always think Mr. Bump looked good. Blue with his bandages.
Yeah, I like Mr. Bump.
You know, he used to bounce about. That was it. Mr. I don't know, sit on the fence. Peter Mulholland Drive. Oh, sorry. Dodsey does finish up with Brady out.
Brady out.
There you go, Dodds said it, mate.
Was that still Dodsey's question? He writes an epic, doesn't he?
He does. Peter Mulholland Drive says, my mate's been banned from Bet365 because he won too much.
Wow.
So we've set him up tonight on a new account with Betway.
Right.
He says, do you think I've done him over and is he like going to change now?
I don't know the answer.
We'll let us know how he gets on, Pete.
Yeah.
And Pete, if you want to let us know how he's winning the money as well, I don't think we'll argue. I always find it strange when bookies do that because they will allow you to lose as much money as you like, but don't you ever win too much money. Oh, no. No. I used to have a little system.
Yeah.
And I'm a creature of habit, and I used to bet with Ladbrokes. It was the first betting app I had.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had a little system, and I used to win 50, 60 quid a day. And after a while, they were like, bang, stopped it.
I remember when I started work. You remember when Frankie Dettori won his Magnificent Seven?
Yes.
When I started work, Pat Edery, I think he might have won 6. And I put him, someone said, I put money on Pat Edery. And after a couple of weeks of doing it, I did get 6 winners. Not accumulated nothing, just 6 winners. And that put me through college. That paid for me college course and everything. I remember that.
Well, it was funny because I think when the jockeys, if you remember, they used to say, if you'd have put up £1 on every horse he'd run, and they'd give you like what your winnings would be. And most jockeys, you would have lost money.
Yeah.
But like the Pat Edarys and I always remember the Lester Pigots and
Willie Carson.
Who was the tall one? Scudamore. So he was always in credit, like a tenner or something.
Yeah, Scudamore. He
So
was jumps though, wasn't he, Scudamore?
yeah, he was jumps. Johnny Frankham, to be fair, was my favourite.
John Frankham. He's a bit like Dodsey.
He was a bit, wasn't he?
Not an appearance, obviously.
No.
Dodsey's no jockey.
No. If Dodsey was a footballer, he'd be like Mick Shannon, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Kerry Larniger.
Where'd you go on holiday? Larniger. That's all he ever says. Larniger. Oh, dear. Next up is me mate, Paul Noland. Beep, beep.
No
here. He's got a question, but Sean can't really answer. He's not here, mate.
Well, I'll answer it.
So he said, there's an apparent business. Why does Sullivan not act and get rid of Moyes?
He's a wanker.
Because he's going because of cost of relegation. You've answered
Told you I could answer it.
There you go. Sean would never have said that.
No.
And the payoff for Moyes is, of course, from a business sense. He said, I won't comment on Saturday's forms because Nigel managed to calm me down. I did me bit for Samaritans, Paul, I must admit. He said, and I didn't even go or watch the game, which didn't make me laugh when he was texting me. I do enjoy it when people text me out the blue saying, this is the fucking worst ever. And you're thinking, mate, I know how many games you've been. I can tell you 5 that were worse. And it ain't a game of top trumps. It's just, I like to keep the perspective. Yeah? Is this the worst ever? No, it ain't. We have been worse. And that is a truth. And I get it hurts when it happens and everything, but hey ho, people, this is part of the charm of supporting West Ham.
Part of the charm.
No, do you not? No, I didn't look.
Yeah, I do know what you fucking mean, but fuck me.
I didn't know.
Part of the fucking charm. You try and explain it to someone who doesn't fucking support West Ham.
No, yeah, they don't. They won't get it. But this is the thing, you know. I walked up to that game.
Well, look at Man United.
Yeah.
Never mind us.
Well, there you go.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I walked up to that game thinking, you know, I could see us winning, but I fancy us for a draw. And look what happened. See, that's part of the charm.
Yeah.
You don't know. And that's what should, and I think that's what keeps a lot of people going back. The reason why our fan base is there's a large amount of 50-plus-year-old fans, people, it's because we all saw 1986 and think it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
And it don't.
Nah, it never looks like it will ever happen again.
Paul finishes up. The next few games are make or break.
Oh, they're fucking definitely break.
Yeah. We could be the first team to win the European trophy and get relegated.
Brady fucking out.
That's exactly what he said.
How's he really?
Brady and Sullivan, to be fair. Next up, it's our mate Ian Gravitt.
Hello, Ian.
Can't exactly say there's a shortage of managers. It's short-termism on Sullivan's behalf because he is short. His parameters are all wrong. And I would do this, and this is funny. I'll tell you what, I would. Shoot me, I don't care. Bring back Harry for 2 months.
I think I could agree with you.
Yeah, people, I said it. I don't care. Say what you like.
I think I'd agree.
Let's quickly ride over to Twitter. I'll tell you why, because someone didn't tag us in to
not happening.
A good list of managers.
Are we done with Facebook?
That is Facebook, yeah.
Wow.
So, where is it? It was Adam Leverbarrow who tweeted us. I'll come back to Dan. Here we go. Managers out of work. You ready? So, Adam Leverbarrow on Twitter. He said, managers out of work.
Right.
Luis Enrique.
Right.
not really done anything since Hero. Didn't he marry that blonde tennis player? Luis Enrique.
No, that's Julio Iglesias' son.
Oh, Enrique Iglesias.
Ain't Luis Enrique the one that's married to the Colombian girl?
No.
It's not.
No, they're getting a divorce, by the way,
Yeah,
because
they
he's
are.
knobbing someone younger. I shouldn't really say knobbing. That's a bit harsh.
No.
He's doinking someone younger. He didn't. Mauricio Pochettino.
I don't think he wants to come.
No. Thomas Tuchel.
Again.
Doesn't
want to come.
Okay, here we go now. Frank Lampard.
No, I can't see him. He probably would want to come, to be honest.
But would he give up the pub game?
the-
Because he's got a
the
nice pub
chemistry.
now in Wanstead, Old Frank.
Oh, I see. You mean the senior version?
Well, I don't
right.
know. He didn't say. He just said
Yeah.
Frank Lampard. So, Steven Gerrard.
No.
No? Right. Ready? Jesse
Yeah.
Marsh. No?
I wouldn't have a fucking problem,
No.
actually.
Here's one, and I would have this. Now, I would have this one. You ready? And it's Ralph Hasenhüttl.
You'd have him, would you?
I'd have him.
Yeah, I think I'd join you.
Yeah. I think he...
I mean, people go out of fucking style quite quickly. He was all very in vogue.
Yeah.
What didn't seem a year ago.
He was one of the Red Bull boys, isn't he?
Yeah, we'll have him.
So...
Yeah,
Rafa,
actually, the more you come to think of it, why aren't we fucking making waves for him?
I don't know. I think
He ticks every fucking box. His Premier League experience.
Southampton, I think, a far...
Fucking done the job on us
Yeah.
in the FA Cup, Hasselhoorn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He then goes Rafa.
No, I just don't want to fucking go down there anymore.
Right. Now, here's a couple... I don't know. Paolo Bento.
Sounds Argentinian.
All right. It's sort of something
Don't
AI
know him.
Sean was start. Bento over. And a Slipser one. Peter Bose. Whoever
I've
he
never
is.
heard of him.
No, B-O-Z.
Not Peter Bowles.
No, but no, Peter Bowles from Happy Till I Die, and what was the other thing? Is To the Man of
Rodney
Bond?
Hughes. Yeah.
Yeah,
No. Yeah. No, that's James. But I'll give it to James Boland, haven't I?
yeah. Peter Bowles was the geezer with the tash.
Yeah.
Yeah, in James
Yeah.
Boland was in HAPP.
That's
What was
right.
that song? I've forgotten what it was called now. That
Yeah.
was the theme tune.
Only when I laugh.
Only when I laugh. Only when I laugh. Did watch West Ham. Only when I laugh.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah. The good thing about walking into work today was that, I got to see Tottenham fans, and they had
that
nothing
was
to crow
fucking
about.
Norman United fans, I
Yeah.
suppose. Anyone else on this list?
Yes, Bielsa.
I'd love him.
Yeah, I would.
He could actually, if you're listening, Mr. Sullivan, and you give a fuck, he might be the only person that fucking stopped me getting rid of the season ticket.
Yeah. It'll be fun, people. I don't care what you say.
Saturday
about
and Bielsa, fucking hell.
it. How good would that be?
I'd drink Carlsberg all day for that, Nigel. Oh, honestly.
The only thing is, and here's a downside, isn't it? So you say, what you've just said there gets me thinking. Saturday, you've gone, yeah? Now, to get Saturday football, can't play in Europe.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming we're not going to win that.
Okay, no, I'm just saying I do. He's then gone, this would be mad for more way than one. Gennaro Gattuso.
What's his management experience like?
AC Milan, fucking useless.
Right, let's not bother with him then.
So I might be a bit harsh. So we just look up Gattuso. I'm pretty sure he definitely.
So I'm like the sound of Bielsa, of course, and I'll take Hasselhoorn. Hasselhoorn sounds like a good option.
I'd do the man a disservice. Yeah.
Gattuso, you mean?
So he has been AC Milan. Yeah.
Yeah,
For 2 years,
yeah.
and then he went to Napoli for
As
2
you do.
years. So let's
Yeah,
see.
that
How
was-
he did. So at Napoli, got to the Coppa Italia semi-final, to the final, yeah. And they won the final, so he won the Coppa Italia.
Right. I'm not sure.
But he got sacked after failing to finish fourth after a draw with Verona, and they finished fifth, 1 point below Juve.
Right.
So they sacked him. He went to Fiorentina for 2 weeks, but didn't manage them for a game. And then went to Valencia. But he got sacked in January by Valencia. There you go.
I don't think we should have an Italian manager following Moyes.
No?
No. Hasselhouten is the man. If he can't do it, no one can.
No. Two more. Rui Faria. Don't know who he is. Rui Faria. And the last one is, I didn't know he'd been a manager. I know of the player.
Yeah.
Is Fabio Cannavaro.
Okay.
Rui Faria.
Did he marry a pop star or?
I don't know. But Rui Faria is a Portuguese manager who was, well, has been an assistant. He's like Mourinho's assistant by the looks of it.
That's how I know him, yeah.
Yeah, because he's been at Chelsea, Inter, Real Madrid, Chelsea again, Man United.
That's right. That's how I know him.
So...
He sounds interesting.
Yeah. So, that's it. Well, that was... So, all we've got out of that, basically, is we'd both like Hasselhoeten.
It's a fun word, too.
Well, it'd be fun listening to Silly Nuts trying to...
I bet he's already turned us down.
No, I don't think...
Well, I say us down. It's Sullivan. Let's lay the blame proportionately.
Dan 31 60 43 40 said it's about time the ownership was held to account for the negligence that as us sleepwalking towards relegation, the old club needs an overhaul with fresh ideas and a winning mentality installed from the top. Brady out. I think that's it, really. I'll just double check on Twitter.
That'll be a good way to finish it off. I mean, he said it all, didn't he?
Yeah. That is it, and that's your lot. There you go. All done and dusted, people, for another week.
There you go. More misery next weekend?
Well, it may be, maybe not.
I've been watching Villa.
Though, to be fair, I don't want to put a knocker on it.
Yeah.
But David Atzig's over from America next weekend.
Oh, dear.
And frankly, every time, and I mean every time, he's been at the London Stadium.
Right.
Well, we haven't lost, because he was there when we drew 2-2 with Leicester once.
But we haven't won.
So...
I don't want to say it, but I've been watching Villa and they're better than us.
Yeah. And the one thing I'll say about Villa and Wolves' recruitment, that actually, if you'd have said to me, we should get Unai Emery in, and I don't know if he would have come, because did we turn him down or did he turn us down?
He turned us down.
Because he definitely got interviewed, didn't he? Because he got photographed.
He turned Sullivan down. We got cops to stop saying that.
Yeah.
It's not fucking collective responsibility.
But if Wolves and can go and get Lopetegui as well.
Yeah, it's just demonstration now, isn't it?
Yeah. And
Emery would, say no to us. Okay, he eventually went to Arsenal, which is about his level.
Yeah.
But then go to Villa.
Yeah.
Which, under the circumstances, if you come out of Arsenal, you probably might want to go to a rival with a big stadium.
Yeah.
Not Sullivan.
It just shows that it is possible to attract, even when you're at the bottom in the Premier League, attract a decent manager.
Mm.
Though because it does make me wonder, though, what these managers will do after a couple of years because look, Liverpool's gone sixth now. So as I have thought that the top 6 spaces, you'll get one out of those teams because it is 7 now with Newcastle. One out of those teams will drop out. You probably won't get 2, though. It'd be interesting to see what Brighton do because they've got 2 games in hand, but they need to win them both. If Brighton win their 2 games in hand, I think they can go 4th.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But I don't see Chelsea getting 7th spot. But I think the top 6 will be the top 6. So it'll be Newcastle, Liverpool, Tottenham, Man United, Man City and Arsenal. Oh, but that's it anyway, people. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Can't have been an easy listen.
No. I hope you stay till the end, and we'll see you next Monday.
Yeah.
See, you thought I was going to say it, yeah, but I didn't.
Yeah.
See you later, people. Bye.
Ta-da, all. Bye.
Bobby Moore, more than just a podcast. Bobby Moore, more than just a podcast.